Alexandra. Now, the other day I was speaking to a friend of mine who's not really he's not really into MMA and definitely not into grappling, and he asked me about Dillon Danis. Strange question. It's not something that most people will bring up, but it was because of the Dillon Danis and the fiasco with the Logan Paul fight, where he tried to take Logan Paul down after he was getting starched in the boxing. And he asked me if Dillon Danis is really a legit guy, or if he is just a troll, a complete
Fair
troll.
question.
Which is a fair question because he's set up a few fights before, and he's pulled out. He's pulled out of quite a few fights, so I don't know what's going on with him. Also, one indication that he is legitimate is Gordon Ryan, who is known as the greatest grappler ever to live. I mean, I don't know if ever to live. We don't have
currently active.
Yeah, we don't have camera footage of the Roman gladiators.
Yeah, Hicks and Gracie might have a word.
That's true. That's true.
Maybe.
So it's arguable that he's the greatest ever, but it is pretty well established that he's the best right now, by far. He's been on a winning streak since
Number 2, Joseph Chen.
2017. Yes, and what was I saying? Gordon Ryan loves to talk about Dillon Danis, which is funny. So it should add to the fact that he is trash, but it doesn't, because if a great like Gordon Ryan needs to constantly talk about Dillon Danis, that should indicate that there is some greatness in him.
Yeah.
Now, he's fought twice in Bellator, but he hasn't fought for a while. The case is that he may have been dropped from Bellator, but I think he claims that he still has 2 fights left on his Bellator contract.
Right.
His fights were 2 and 3 years ago. In both matches, he didn't show great striking, but he ducked under some strikes, double-legged both of his opponents. In one of the matches, he back-mounted his opponent, just strikes from the back the whole time, and then finally finished with a belly-down armbar, which is very rare in the UFC, or it's not the UFC, sorry. Well, in UFC too. In MMA in general, armbars they happen, but not all the time, probably because you're sweaty and it's hard to immobilize a person enough to armbar them in a dynamic sport like MMA.
It's one of the first things you learn to defend in jiu-jitsu.
Yes, but it was he had his opponent belly down, so his opponent's arm was kind of like this. So he had no opportunity to roll. It was a beautiful, beautiful finish. And then in the next match that he had, he finishes his opponent with a toe hold. Another thing that is not super common in MMA, but it just goes to show his level of grappling and how it translates to MMA. Excellent. He's an excellent grappler.
Yeah, Marcelo Garcia, black belt. Just kind of a controversial dude, you know. He had a match with Gordon Ryan at ADCC, I don't know what year, 2017 maybe?
Yeah.
And since then, he fell out with Marcelo, he got kicked out publicly. Not sure exactly why.
The Marcelo thing was, from what I read, was that while he was training with Conor McGregor, I guess getting out in the media in unfavorable ways, and Marcelo decided that he wanted to disassociate from him because Marcelo Garcia wants to keep the clean martial arts image of his school, so he didn't want to be associated with any kind of controversy. But let's look at, in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, IBJJF. IBJJF is the biggest governing body in Jiu-Jitsu. There are a few, but IBJJF is the biggest. Now, IBJJF, as a purple belt, 2012, 3rd place, world champ. Like, this is the world championship, so 3rd in the world.
And no gi.
That's right, no gi. These are all, let me see. Actually, some of these are gi, some of these are no gi. So let's see. We have no gi, purple belt, 3rd place, 2012. Brown belt, Medio. Medio is middleweight. I'm gonna say medio. Brown belt medio, second place, 2013. Brown belt medio, first place, 2014. Brown belt pasado. I don't know what pasado is.
That's black belt.
Black belt, sorry.
pasado.
Black
Pasado
belt.
might be fish. No.
Black belt, first place, 2016. IBJJF, New York Spring International Open. This is probably a gi tournament. Brown belt, medio in 2015, second place. 2015 again, brown belt, he gets a first place. So these are big accomplishments. IBJJF New York Summer International Open. This might be, well, this would be like New York competition. This wouldn't, even though they call it a world competition, it wouldn't be the whole world really.
Yeah. Only one of these is the real world.
Yes, but New York is still big. So New York Open in 2014, in the gi, he wins first place as a brown belt. Boca Raton International Open 2015, black belt. In the gi, he wins first place. IBJJF World Jiu-Jitsu Champions, this is the world. This is 2014, as a brown belt, first place.
Yeah, so he's very good at jiu-jitsu. Kind of a shady character, controversial.
Yes,
with
yes.
good skills. And he just has some weird troll ability where he's very relevant without doing much.
Yeah.
And it's something.
Yeah, he's fun. He's kind of funny. He's kind of entertaining.
Yeah.
Easy to pass on the fact that he's actually really good at fighting. Yeah, because he is kind of he does things in kind of a clownish way. He was associated with Conor McGregor. He was Conor McGregor's jiu-jitsu coach for a few years, leading up to the Khabib fight. And even though Conor did get tapped by Khabib, he did show good grappling. He was able to kind of hold off quite a few of Khabib's takedown attempts more than others. He actually won a round against Khabib, which nobody else has won a single round against Khabib. So no slouch. I have to give we have to give some props to Dillon Danis, even though his behavior is sometimes hilarious, sometimes odd.
Yeah, and right now, he's making a push to get to the UFC. Who knows if that happens? Who knows how good he actually is, like in the world level?
Yes.
I'd like to see it.
Yeah, I would love to see it.
Curious.
If he
have him fight Kron Gracie in the UFC.
That would be amazing. That would be amazing. He does have a history of dropping out of fights.
Yeah.
So that could be something that would give the UFC pause. I think he's 30 now, which is not bad for MMA. Around 30 is kind of prime time for MMA fighters, depending on how well he's been training or how he's been keeping up with his training, and if his striking has risen to the level that it needs to, which it didn't seem
probably
to.
not.
Yeah. In the Logan Paul fight, it didn't seem like his striking has risen to the level that he would need to fight in the UFC. But as mentioned, he is definitely a legitimate fighter. He's 2-0 in MMA, in Bellator, or in professional MMA, and he's well decorated as a grappler.
Yeah.
That's all I have to say about that.
Nice. We have any live comments?
Any live comments? Let's see here.
Is anybody watching?
Phil just says,
What's up, Phil?
hell yeah. How to compete in jiu-jitsu. Number 1, look good. As
Yeah.
you mentioned.
Most important.
Yeah, most important. You want to look good. You want to, get a haircut.
Yeah. Haircut, outfit planned out 2 weeks in advance.
People might be taking pictures of you
There's gonna be
as you're
pictures.
stepping on the mat. Keep your face looking serious. Look very stoic. Look like a samurai. Imagine what a samurai feels.
And a big part of looking good is don't think about looking good too much in the moment. Go back. Set it out in advance. Get the haircut. Get the outfit.
Yes.
And everything else is
Plan your good looks ahead of time.
yeah. Don't worry about a day of. Can't fix your noses day of.
Yeah.